think Golovkin wins this fight. I think he wins it rather easily. But I would say if the two fights were next to each other and I had to pick, you know, it was the only two fights in the world of boxing I'd ever see again. It was Canelo Khan and Brook and Triple G. I'm picking Brook and Triple G. Straight up.
Well, that depends on what the pick is. If the pick is an exciting knockout, I probably would have to say Amir Khan and Canelo.
If you want to see somebody get flattened, you watch it. Yeah, I feel that. All right, let's get to my next topic. Fan perception. So, a lot of people are saying that this is a huge cherry pick by Gennady Golovkin. They're saying that Gennady Golovkin could have fought Erislandy Lara. They're saying he could have took the Gilberto Ramirez fight, but they didn't understand that Gilberto Ramirez just injured his hand and he couldn't fight in his latest fight. But I see what they're saying. They're saying that he could have fought Andre Ward at 168, right? But he's being hypocritical not doing that by saying, oh, I'll fight Kell Brook, a guy I might add he mentioned was too small for him in a fucking interview with DBN, right? Mm-hmm. He mentioned earlier that he was too small for him. Now it's okay for him to come up, right? Another thing about fan perception, they feel that Eubank Jr. was the reason why the Triple G fight didn't fall through.
I thought it was Senior.
No, that's the truth. What fans are saying is they think Eubank Jr. quote lost his pen. The truth is this nigga went ahead of me. The truth is that Eubank Sr. was part of the reason why the fight didn't happen. But in my opinion, I think that this deal was made so fucking fast that this is something that Eddie Hearn favored over Eubank Jr. getting that fight. And if y'all have looked at articles after the announcement of this fight, Eddie Hearn has already gone on record saying, yo, Eubank Jr. gets a winner of this fight immediately. So that tells me he had this shit set up from the get-go, Eddie Hearn did. Yep. What are y'all's thoughts, Bo? Let me know.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna go back, and because there's a pattern with Golovkin when it comes to these quick fights,
right?
And him not fighting guys that might like to get in problems. Andre Ward was on Sports Nation and said Andre Ward is back and I'm ready. 2 days later, he was fighting David Lemieux. 3G was fighting David fucking Lemieux.
Right.
We didn't even know that they was in negotiations. We just knew there was a fight.
Right.
In order for them to get approval for Brooks to go ahead and fight, HBO had to approve this. Right. This got done in less than 24 hours.
Right.
So, and then remember, Vargas was telling Brooks the same thing that Gennady was telling Eubanks. Where's your pen? You know, hey, where's your pen? Vargas put up pictures saying he signed the fight. And the fact that Brooks had never signed this contract, and then all of a sudden this fight came and you signed it right away, it does draw some suspicion as to, okay, what was really going on behind the scenes. Yeah. Especially when he said, well, I offered Kell Brooks the same contract that I'm offering Eubanks, and Brooks took it. Wait a minute, you mean no extra money or no extra incentives? So this contract that was for Eubanks, who's not as big a star as Kell Brooks, and Brooks signed off on this? So something was tailor-made about this for him. That's number one. Fans' perception of this being a cherry pick. You have to say it is somewhat of a cherry pick. I don't know if I can say it's a big cherry pick because Kell Brooks does have some skill. Kell Brooks does have a chin. And
no, Bo.
Yeah.
Bo,
hey, Bo.
sorry,
I just went over Kell Brooks' chin, and and I'm sorry to say yeah, it's decent against C-level fighters. Huh? It's better than Khan, yeah.
Okay.
But I what I'm saying is against the one B+ level fighter, A- level fighter that he fought in Sean Porter, he didn't get hit flush the way he did against Carson Jones. You see what I'm saying?
No, he did. He did.
All right.
Did. But I mean, I still got to say, well, that's you know, there ain't been too many times I've seen Kell Brooks shooting up.
Yeah.
Okay, and ain't been too many times I've seen Kell Brooks, even knocked down.
He ain't fought nobody to show you that shit. He fighting JoJo Dan and Kevin Bizier, man.
And that goes back to what was my first statement.
Yeah.
He took the easiest path to a big money fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's Eddie Hearns' pattern. Him and Hearns and one of the other promoters over there in the UK, what's his name?
Tom Loeffler.
Loeffler, and there's one more. But that's their, that's kind of their MO.
Right.
Okay. They know, listen, if anything, we have certain fans that regardless if the hardcore guys aren't with it, we got these new people that are down for it.
Right.
And they can appeal to that. This fight was best done the way it was done to be put on in the UK, because I can't see you getting away with that in America, doing something like that in the United States.
Yeah.
I really can't see you getting away with nothing like that here in the US. So I can't say it's a huge cherry pick. It's definitely a cherry pick because the fact that you didn't even look at 154. Okay, you had Lara, you had J. There's a lot of cats down there that I know for a fact that would have came and got them a piece.
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
Let me.
Go ahead,
Sus.
My bad, Bo. I was gonna say, let me jump in real quick, man. I agree with what you're saying, Bo, but I think it's a huge cherry pick, man. I think it's a hell of a cherry pick, and here's why. It kind of goes toward what you guys said earlier. This fight seemed like it was just waiting in the wings. Mm-hmm. It was made very fast. As soon as the Chris Eubank Jr. negotiations broke down, it was like this fight was made. You know what I mean?
This break down says he told them you have a certain time to call, and if y'all don't call, it's over.
Yeah.
Well, this was the thing. Eubank Sr. was trying to take control of shit like all of the marketing. That was the fucking problem. Eddie Hearn was like, nah, bro. Even his fucking promoter was like, bro, we can't do that for a guy at Eubank Jr.'s prestige level. So you have to give in a little bit more. And Chris, and you said it earlier in a post, Bo. Chris Eubank Sr. was hard to deal with as a fighter. And he's showing that as a negotiator. He firmly believes, as he should, in his son, right? He firmly believes that Chris Eubank Jr. is the second coming. He is the guy that will, if you fucking ask him, yo, who's gonna be the dude to take over Mayweather's mantle in his absence? He'll say, my motherfucking son. Yep. And he should think that way, but he shouldn't negotiate as such until he gets the accolades for him to be able to do so. Go ahead, Sus.
Oh yeah, no. I absolutely agree, and I'm not faulting Golovkin for the negotiations breaking down. I think it was solely Eubank Sr.'s fault. My point is just on the lines of this Kell Brook, Gennady Golovkin fight. To me, it just seemed like the fight got made real quick, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. So to me, it is a cherry pick, and it's a very big cherry pick because if you offer a guy named Erislandy Lara the same thing that you were offering Chris Eubank Jr. and Kell Brook, then I am almost certain that Lara takes that deal. I'm almost certain that Lara takes that contract because he's been calling you out.
Well, let me add this in there, Sus.
Understand,
in Triple G's camp, it's not about, I'm going to play devil's advocate for y'all guys. It's not about who's calling Triple G out, and it's not about the best matchups possibly at 160 or fighting the best, the better named opponent at 154, 147, whatever the fuck. It's about getting those dollars. And Abel Sanchez even made that shit clear in his interview with DBN. DBN said the same thing you just said. He said, why not give it to Lara? Abel Sanchez said, because Lara doesn't bring to the table what Kell Brook brings to the table. What's your response to that?
I think that's pure bullshit.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
I
think it is true. I think it is true. But I'm hearing Abel Sanchez say just all of this different shit. They want to talk about legacy. They want to talk about where Triple G ranks amongst the top guys in the sport. You can't get there by fighting 147-pound fighters.
Right.
And if you want Golovkin to be a very well paid fighter, I understand that. I understand that from the standpoint of he has to do what's in his best interest. But please do not ask me to commend him or to bow to him or respect him when he's fighting guys that are 147 pounds and when he's fighting guys that he should not fucking be in the ring with. He could take his ass out there and get a Lara or get somebody that's gonna give him a few problems.
But do you think? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was gonna say, but their thing is, instead of giving us Lara, they'll give us a Willie Monroe. Okay, they'll give you somebody that kind of fits Lara's MO, but he can't do what Lara does.
But what about in comparison to this matchup here? I understand because Lara was calling out Golovkin before they picked Willie Monroe and before they picked Dominic Wade. Now Dominic Wade was a mandatory. Okay, so it is what it is there.
They could have got around there.
They could, yes. I absolutely agree, Bo. But what I'm saying is, if he's going to fight his mandatory and it's a PBC fighter, fuck it. That's my thing.
Right.
But I understand that, yes, he could have took Lara. Now, before Willie Monroe, Lara was like, yeah, I'll go to 160 right the fuck now for that fight. I understand those two scenarios. He could have taken Lara. But the Kell Brook fight, Kell Brook has the UK fan. Okay.
Yes.
It's gonna be on Sky Sports in the UK, which is our equivalent to pay-per-view. Okay.
Yep.
So over here, Lara Golovkin is not a pay-per-view fight, and that's mainly because of what numbers Golovkin did against Lemieux, and then Lara's only pay-per-view against Canelo, he only did 350. So that's not a pay-per-view fight, bro. So I'm playing devil's advocate again.
Oh yeah.
If we're talking about having pay-per-view in London, right?
Yep.
As it compared to having HBO in the United States, then why can't they go the Kell Brook route instead of the Lara route if it's all about money?
And that's the thing. If it's all about money, then absolutely do what you have to do.
Right.
Do what you have to do. But from Golovkin, from a fighter's perspective,
right?
And I'm just going off of what Golovkin says and a lot of the shit that he does.
Yep.
They never make it seem about money. They make it come off as we want to unify. We want to be the greatest. We want to be the best. We want to be better than Bernard Hopkins when he was at middleweight.
Right.
You can't get there by fighting 147-pound fighters. Now, if I look at it from a financial standpoint, absolutely, very good decision. It's going to be in the UK. The fans are going to be there. Obviously the money's going to be there because I'm sure this fight's going to appeal to them. Whereas, just like you said, over here, it may be a different story. If they were doing it HBO pay-per-view or whatever, it'd be a completely different story. So I understand where they're coming from. Okay. I truly do. But I just have to look at it from the fighter's perspective, and I have to look at it from what I've heard from Golovkin and from what I've heard from Abel Sanchez. These are guys that never make it seem like it's necessarily about money. Abel Sanchez alludes to it, and he does mention it sometimes, but at the end of the day, I truly think that they're taking the easier way out. Kell Brook is he's not a slouch, and I understand that, but he's a small guy. He should not be in the ring with a 160-pound fighter. One more point. And I'm going to take this from, actually, Adrian Broner. I seen this posted early by my man Savon. And Broner was basically saying, shit like this doesn't need to happen in the sport because this is how guys get hurt. They have weight classes for a reason.
Paulie said that too.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay, great. So shouts to Paulie Malignaggi on that. They have weight classes for a reason, fellas. I'm not saying that Kell Brook can't go to 160 and fight somebody, but everybody knows that's been in the ring. Everybody knows that's been around the sport. It is a gradual happening when you're moving up in weight. You don't just go from 147 in to 160 and fight the top guy in the division. That's how fighters get hurt.
Well,
Go ahead.
okay, man. See, this is great. I fucking love this shit.